everyone, ladies and gentlemen, I forgot to turn on the light. There's always despite how long that intro takes, there's always something that I forget to do. It's like, what am I even doing in the 2 minutes beforehand? Anyway, hello, welcome to Monday Morning Coffee, episode 22. This is the show where I drink a coffee, I answer questions, and I keep answering questions until I finish the coffee. This time, my coffee is already halfway done because this is still my morning coffee. That's right. For the very first time, on episode 22, the very first time, we have done a Monday morning coffee on Monday morning. The first time ever. I'd like to thank the federal holiday, President's Day, for that occurrence to happen. As well as the fact that I remembered, oh shit, since I have the day off today, I can just do Monday morning coffee as it is. I do see the drop frames. I was having some trouble connecting to Twitter to set up that post, so I imagine it's going to have a lot of drop frames to it. But that's okay. If the recording works, I'll just have the outro be really, really long. It seems like the way whenever there's drop frames on the live stream, the live stream itself is just screwed. But the VOD, it'll just cut out whatever frames it was trying to catch up to once you end the stream. So if I just have the outro sequence go for another 30 minutes after this is done, you will technically be able to eventually see everything that happens. Or I can just watch the stream on my end, and then once I finally see it end on my screen, I can end the stream on here. That should work, technically. Theoretically. But yeah, this is still my morning coffee. I did not get a second refill. Every other coffee you have ever seen on this show was a refill from my morning coffee. This is the very first time we have had an authentic, I don't want to spill this all over my keyboard, but there's coffee in there. I think I spilled it anyway. And it's brewed, freshly brewed. Well, it's actually not freshly brewed. It's been sitting out for a while because I've been awake. But it's still morning. It's 9:26 a.m. in America right now. On the West Coast specifically. In terms of updates, so I don't have too much to talk about. So this will probably be a pretty short one. And like I said, I'll keep the stream going so that we can catch up and try and recover some of those lost frames that we got. I really only have 3 big updates here. I don't think we're also going to get any viewers because I think this is too early. Which is ironic because it's supposed to be Monday morning coffee. But oh well. The first thing is that a new book is coming. It is not the book that I've been writing. It's not the fiction book I've been writing. It's a non-fiction book that essentially, full transparency, just compiles a bunch of stuff that's been on the blog. That's sort of desperate thoughts, putting them all together. It's also based on that huge success that we had with the Twitter post, because if you recall, all the stuff that I was posting on Twitter, where I was getting 1,000 retweets over some insightful comment, was all just stuff that I used to post on Twitter that I then posted on the blog. So it's compiling that stuff, and it's compiling a bunch of the rest of the stuff on the blog, and the idea is that we release that book. It's going to be iterative. It's going to be an iterative release because it's really easy to release iteratively for nonfiction, because it doesn't, you're not following a story, right? So there's not this doesn't really make sense to cut it off here, you kind of have to keep going. There's none of that because it's just non-fiction. I mean, it's just the stuff that I've been talking about on the blog. So it's very easy to release iteratively. It'll cost some amount of money, but probably not as expensive as a fiction book. It's going to be released on Gumroad whenever I get that ready, and then from there, it's just whenever new chapters are finished, they just get posted on there, and eventually you will have the entire book if you spent that money. Regardless, you don't have to buy each new chapter, you just buy in, and then you get the full book whenever the full book gets released, which is my idea of an iterative. And I've talked about iterative releases before. I feel like that's probably the best way of doing it. And then we advertise those with the Twitter posts because I stopped doing those Twitter posts for a while. Some of you might have wondered why I stopped doing those despite how successful they were. Well, that's why. It's because I had this book on the back burner. And so I decided to release the book as a Gumroad release, and then every time, and then just spam those posts and get thousands and hundreds of thousands of Twitter retweets, and then they all come to my book. That's exactly what's going to happen. No, but I mean, it's just it's something that I want to do anyway because it's a compilation of all the stuff that I wrote for like the past 5 years on that blog anyway. And as the blog begins to wind down, it's not dead, but as it winds down, I focus on other stuff. I feel like this is the perfect chance to be like, oh, all this stuff's there now. Let's just compile it all together, and then make it in a way that makes sense, right? So that's that. Oh, and then also it'll be free for members. Also, like everything. I always forget to mention that. Yeah, everything's free for members. Everything I do that I say costs money is free if you're a member, basically. Just assume that, unless there's like a weird case. Like the JBR stuff isn't free to Astukery members because they're separate. But this is like Astukery stuff, if that makes sense. So that's one update, and I'll be talking more about that as it gets closer. I kind of talked vaguely about it because it's still in production, but eventually it'll work. The second thing is something that I already talked about yesterday, or by yesterday, I mean last Monday. I'm going to be filling in new playlists. So we're going to change. I'm going to basically make a front page looking of the YouTube channel where it's like still has the best of at the top, but then as you go down, it's like the most populated, I guess, playthroughs. So if I play a certain game a bunch, like I almost said Full House, like House Flipper. I played House Flipper a bunch. I played BeamNG a bunch. We're probably going to play Modded Skyrim a bunch. Those will be playlists there. And then as we also get those YouTube Shorts, the YouTube Shorts will be in their own playlist. And you'll see those as well. I was able to confirm that you can put YouTube Shorts into playlists. It's a little bit finicky. You have to do it for the YouTube Studio, but it is still possible. And that's how I have because we talked yesterday, or once again, when I say yesterday, I mean just the last time I did this, which was last Monday. We talked about Boys and Girls Stories, which is that experimental storytelling with the shorts. It kind of looks like visual novel-esque that I've been doing on what used to be the main channel. That now has its playlist, and since I'm talking about Boys and Girls right now, I might as well also mention that the Boys and Girls art book is on the way. That one's going to be free. That one's not going to cost any money. I might have already talked about it too, and I just forgot. I don't remember. But that's also coming on the way. That one's further down. That's actually going to be further down than the Gumroad release, because the art book I want to have finished at the time that it's released, because it's like a free art book or whatever. It feels weird to release that iteratively, whereas the nonfiction book, I feel like it makes sense. The compilation of stuff. And then, yeah, the playlists and all that stuff. And you know what? I am going to keep talking until I finish this coffee also, so that we could really have this be the first ever episode that is just completely like, holy shit, he actually did it. It took us till episode 22 until I really committed, but this time I did. Also, I've been noticing, I don't know if anyone else has been having these difficulties. I've been having a hard time finding my streams on like my account on the front page, which is weird. Because usually if you're signed into... Well, let me try it on an alt. I wonder if it would work better on an alt. Because usually... So, for example, right now I'm signed into the Astukery account. Usually, if you just go to youtube.com... Oh, and it works now. It's working right now. If you sign into youtube.com, the very first thing that'll show up in your recommendations is the stream that you're currently doing, which is how it's supposed to work. But the last couple times it hasn't worked out that way, which is kind of weird. Let me try going to my alt and seeing if it's any better on that. Yeah, no, it works on the alt. So maybe you guys are able to see it, but just I can't for whatever reason, which is weird. But, I mean, I guess we'll see on that. Oops, I didn't mean to go here. Although I do see that part 2 of Boys and Girls Stories is popping off. Last time I saw that it had 3 views, now it has 24 views. There is a market for this, to some degree, which is good to see. If those are successful then I might do some promotions for that. Not on YouTube, because I actually don't think you can promote videos on YouTube. Or can you? Can you promote videos on YouTube? I don't think you can. I think it's like Google Ads that you see. Like, if you see, like, a promotion thing, it's not, like, an actual, like, video. It's just, like, a... At least I think it's that way. I don't think you can... Do you want me to just see if I could? Hold on. Where's the video? Well, let me go back to my old account. Let me go back to this current account. I don't think you can promote... I don't think you can promote videos on YouTube. I don't think that's possible. Yeah, no, you can't. But you can do it on TikTok, which is how I get the TikTok money. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Jesus, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, you can't. Which is like whatever. That's fine. I don't really care that much. The views on YouTube Shorts are actually great, so I don't feel the need to do that. Speaking of which, the shorts on this channel have been popping off, which is nice. Some of them do really good. Some of them don't do that good. I'm sad to see that the Asukari Explains American Culture to a Canadian video got no views, but the 2-second clip of me pushing Doof off the platform got like 500,000. That feels kind of silly. I don't know why it's like that. Anyway, I need to stop getting distracted by the YouTube page. I'm almost done with my coffee. And we'll just end it. Well, I'll stop talking. I'll stop talking when I finish coffee. But I'll keep the stream going for a little bit longer, just so that we catch up to those lost frames, because I know I have a ton of lost frames right now, because the internet is garbage. But it always is. Whenever I'm streaming specifically, too, I've noticed this. The past couple of streams where we've had internet issues, it's like my internet was completely fine until like seconds beforehand. And then it cut off. It's like, I wonder if they're trying to send a message here. I guess it could also be related in some way to like my computer, because I notice, I don't know if any of you guys get this problem, but I notice whenever I try to download something off, say, Steam, all of a sudden the internet on everything else is awful. The Steam download does really, really well. It's doing like 30 megabits per second or whatever, but everything else, I cannot use the internet. It's probably a setting. That's what it sounds like. It's like a, do you want to, if you're downloading something, do you want to focus all of your internet connection or whatever on this one download? And I have to find a way to turn that off, but I have no idea where that setting would be or anything. However, like I promised, this was going to be a short Monday morning coffee. I did at least, I needed to get one in on Monday morning, and it took us a while. It took us half a year, technically, because we do these every week. It's episode 22. Or is it 23? I don't remember. But the coffee is done. This is the first time ever that we have actually followed the formula of Monday morning coffee. I am very impressed with myself in particular. But anyway, that's going to be it for today. As usual, we will have streams on Wednesday and Thursday. I'm thinking I'm not going to give exact approximations anymore, because I change these every single day, but I'm thinking probably some combination of modded Skyrim, Half-Life Alyx, and or Sorcery Part 2 is what that's the games that are on my mind to stream as of this moment. But who knows how I'm thinking Tuesday nights, because that clearly is what set us off last time. I guess we'll see. But some combination of those is probably what we're going to stream on that day. Anyway, that's it. I know this stream has had a ton of lost frames, so I'm going to keep the outro going for a while. But until then, until Wednesday specifically, I will see you guys in the next one.